Same day, the head coach is gone, and a USWNT attacker just landed for $850,000. You don't fire the coach and sign that player in the same news cycle by accident. If you're just joining, Angel City hit the World Cup break outside the playoff places in a crowded NWSL middle. That 2-1 home loss to North Carolina cooled off a lot of the optimism from the early push. So the thing hanging over the club was pretty simple. Was that 3-0 start the real baseline? Or were the point pace and the table already forcing a rethink?
This is Angel City Daily, and today, the simmer finally boils over. Straus out, Sentnor in, Smerud holding the clipboard. Let's get into who's actually steering this thing.
Let's start with the number because it's the one hard fact on the page. $850,000 for Ally Sentnor. That's Angel City putting conviction in writing. This is way beyond a depth move.
Right. So why does that number land the exact same day you fire the guy who'd deploy her? Mark Parsons owes the fan base an answer on which came first, the vision or the vacancy.
And the firing makes sense once you watch the tape. The backline cracking late, McCutcheon, those cutbacks, the goals conceded in the final stretch. The front office seems to have reached the same conclusion we did and acted on it. That's what we still don't know. And we can't really judge her fit until we know what Leif Gunnar Smerud actually runs as interim, whether he keeps Straus's system, tweaks it, or freezes the roster while the search plays out.
See, I don't think Smerud's just a placeholder. If this club is serious about an attacking identity, that interim stretch is an audition. He's the guy who gets to shape how Sentnor fits, or he doesn't.
And for league-wide context, the Equalizer's summer transfer tracker is live now, tracking every league move in this window. That helps us see whether $850 during a coaching search makes Angel City an outlier, or whether other clubs are swinging just as hard during the break.
Exactly. Is Angel City actually going big, or does $850 just look big compared with their own history? Check the tracker before you crown anybody.
I'll say it plainly. This week turned a form slump into a full club reset, and the Sentnor trade landing alongside the Straus firing is the clearest look we've had all season at the front office's hand.
And that's the line I'm holding them to. Do they have a plan, or just a roster move and an interim? We find out who replaces Straus, and whether Sentnor's the answer, or just a louder question.
KC Soccer Journal, with Chad Smith.
ESPN's Jeff Kassouf reports that the Kansas City Current have traded attacker Ally Sentnor to Angel City FC in return for $850,000. The KC Star's Daniel Sperry confirmed the trade. The move comes not even 11 months after the KC Current traded for Sentnor from the Utah Royals.
$850,000 for Ally Sentnor. That's the number, per Jeff Kassouf at ESPN, confirmed by the KC Star. Kansas City brought her in from Utah for $600,000 in guaranteed money less than 11 months ago, so they're flipping a USWNT attacker at a profit.
And here's the part that gets me. Sentnor was in the last year of her deal. KC was about to lose her for free, maybe through a pre-contract this summer. So this was now or never for them.
Which makes the Angel City side the interesting read. The playoff chase we've been talking about all season just turned into an $850,000 roster play. It reads like front office conviction on paper, way beyond depth spending.
Conviction on what, though? You drop 6 figures on a striker, and I just want to know Mark Parsons actually has a real picture of how she fits. Because that picture matters a lot right now.
It does. And we can't fully judge the fit yet, but just on the money, the front office is putting its cards on the table for the first time all week. Here's Phuc Nguyen at All for Leven.
After a historic and undefeated start to the season, 3-0-0, Angel City FC head coach Alex Straus is now out at the club. ACFC have struggled mightily in the past few months, picking up a single win over the past 8 games and dropping down to 12th in the NWSL table.
Angel City opened this season 3-0-0 and undefeated. They've won once in their last 8. They're sitting 12th in a 16-team league. And today the front office made the call. Alex Straus is out, effective immediately.
1 win in 8, Sarah. You don't fire a coach who opened 3-0-0 unless you've decided the slide is the real team and the start was the mirage.
And the timing isn't accidental. The World Cup break is the cleanest possible window to do this. No midweek, no fixture where you're throwing an interim straight into the deep end. Leif Gunnar Smerud steps in while Mark Parsons runs a full search.
Smerud's the senior assistant, so here's my question. Is he a bridge, or does he actually get to shape the attack for the back half? Because if the club's serious about an identity, this interim stretch is an audition, not a pause.
Parsons said in the release that Straus developed the style of play and the players. You don't fire a coach you'd write that about over a vibe. You fire him over that 1-win-in-8 pattern. The backline cracking late wasn't noise. The front office drew a conclusion and acted on it.
The Sentnor signing drops on the same day Straus gets fired. So is Angel City just opportunistically grabbing a USWNT name while the house is on fire? Or is there actually a coherent attacking vision here that survives the coaching change?
It's a fair read on the optics, but here's what we know. Per ESPN, Angel City paid $850,000 in intra-league transfer funds for Sentnor. That's real money, and it signals front office conviction more than a panic buy. Sentnor has 7 goals in 23 USWNT caps to date, so you're talking about a proven, high-velocity attacker at the international level. Tactically, the interesting part is what was already here. Sveindis Jonsdottir won NWSL Player of the Month for March after an electric stretch, including multiple goal contributions in the opening 3 games, per the club's own announcement. That's the attacking spine sporting director Mark Parsons was already building around, a pace and press vertical threat, and Sentnor fits that mold. The Kansas City Star notes Sentnor's contract was set to expire at season's end anyway, which may have lowered KC's leverage, but Angel City still paid a premium. So Parsons is making a statement about the kind of team he wants, no matter who's writing the lineup card.
But if Straus was the one developing that attacking identity, and Parsons literally credited him with developing our style of play in the firing statement, doesn't firing the coach mid-build undercut the system Sentnor is supposedly arriving to join?
Yeah, and that's the tension to watch while Angel City sorts out the interim stretch and the permanent replacement. Does the next coach get told to preserve that vertical, attacker-first structure, or do they get room to rebuild around the new pieces? The club is 12th in a 16-team league despite that blazing 3-win start, so the pressure is immediate. If the Sentnor signing and the Jonsdottir investment are Parsons drawing a line about identity above the head coach, the next hire tells us whether that line actually holds. From Equalizer Soccer.
We are officially halfway through the 2026 National Women's Soccer League season. Congratulations to Gotham FC on the club's second-ever league championship. In the summer transfer window, teams will be busy with trades and signings across the league.
So while we've been chewing on the Sentnor money and the Straus firing, the Equalizer's summer transfer tracker is live, and it gives us a yardstick. Chicago just signed Leila Ouahabi off a Manchester City title run, 66 caps for Spain, deal through 2028.
Okay, so here's what I want answered. Is $850,000 for Sentnor actually big? Or does it just look big against Angel City's own history?
Different currencies, almost. Chicago's flexing experience and trophies. Angel City spent cash on a young USWNT attacker. The tracker shows clubs leaning into this World Cup break. Plenty of teams are moving, but Angel City's version is the unusual part.
Right. Ouahabi's a finished product slotting into a system. Sentnor's a bet on a system that just lost its coach. Leif Gunnar Smerud's the one who decides how she fits, and we don't know if he's a bridge or the architect.
If Angel City Daily is part of your routine, take a moment to subscribe or leave a quick review wherever you're listening. It really helps other fans find the show, and it helps us keep bringing you the daily fix. What we're watching next. Angel City returns July 3rd at home against Orlando Pride, the first match with Leif Gunnar Smerud as interim coach. You'll find links to every story from today's episode in the show notes. So if one caught your ear, you can take a closer look there. That's Angel City Daily Podcast for today. This is a Lantern podcast.